One of the questions we get asked pretty regularly is, as a millennial, how can I get into the home ownership world? They, they being millennials realize the importance of home ownership. They see that there's just so much value in owning a home. I too, I'm a millennial, so I mean, I'm speaking here on behalf of millennials and first-time home buyers. Millennials, their dream is to buy a home, but for many, the question is it just a dream, or is it something that we can actually achieve? So I just want to lay out a couple of things for you guys. First of all, I'm going to give you tips on what you need to do to prepare yourself to buy a home, and then I'm going to give you some creative solutions how to get into the housing market. So first of all, when you're actually starting to buy a home, or when you're beginning the process of buying a home, first of all, you need to know how much home you can afford. So talk to a mortgage broker, talk to your bank, get an idea based on your income, your credit, your employment history, how much home you can actually afford. And from now until then and beyond, continue to save for your down payment. So what is a down payment? A down payment is actually very important for you to buy a home. Every home requires at least a 5% down payment. So on a $300,000 house, I mean, you're looking at $15,000 right there. So save that down payment. It's eventually going to get contributed towards the purchase price of the home that you're buying anyways. So start saving for your down payment and getting an understanding of what you can afford. These are two very, very important things to do to get started. Then identify where you want to be. Then start shopping within your budget. Now, if you've hypothetically been pre-approved to 300,000, don't shop at 300,000. Maybe shop at 275. That way, it'll build in a little bit of buffer room in the event that you have to go into a bidding war, and you can go slightly above that and still be within your provided range by the bank. And so that way, you're also not going house broke too, because let's face it, you got to save a little bit of money in case something goes wrong when you move in. Let's say you move in, and let's say your stove and your fridge just don't end up working, or you need to buy a fridge and stove. This way you've got some money to go ahead and do that, to buy these essential items. Or if you've got a leaky roof, you can get it fixed. There's always surprises involved with every home that somebody buys. So make sure you've taken that into consideration when you go out to buy a house. So that's kind of the homework that you need to do before you get into the housing market. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, how the hell do I get into the housing market? It's so expensive. So here's a couple of creative solutions that we found that have really worked for clients of ours. First of all, a lot of people have decided, okay, you know what, I can't afford a freehold home, so I'm going to go towards a condo. Condos typically have, they're less to purchase. They're not as expensive, perhaps in many cases, as a freehold, especially if you buy it nice and early in a condo development. But now you got to keep in mind there's condo fees. Now, if you're working downtown Kitchener, hypothetically, and you buy a condo, a lot of people just feel the need to get rid of a car. I don't need a car, I don't need the payment. So there you go. You're saving yourself $300-400 a month in a car payment that you can now put towards your condo fees, and your cash flow remains the same, but now you actually own your real estate. That's one tip. The other tip is this. Let's say that buying a condo and being without a car is just not an option. A lot of people are moving outside of Waterloo region, and they're buying in Brantford, they're buying in Woodstock, they're buying in Listowel, other towns that are just outside of KW, Cambridge area, Waterloo region, and they're just driving in and out, they're commuting. But what they find is their dollar goes a lot further outside of the city than what it does inside of the city. Now, another option that somebody can undertake is this. Your expectations for a home may be here. You may just have to buy here, just slightly below your expectations. Meaning you may have to buy a home that needs some work, but that's okay. You can put your own sweat equity into the home. Let's say the home needs a paint job and new flooring. You can do all of these things. All of these things are usually reflective in the purchase price that you're buying at. And let's face it, by the time you make these small little cosmetic changes, hey, your real estate has just increased in value. So you're the one that's ultimately going to benefit, and you can do it to whatever preference, style, colors, your personality. You can go all out with that type of thing. So you can buy a home that needs some work. One of the things that some people have done that I've found to be pretty creative is they're teaming up with somebody else. So let's say it's your best friend, both of you guys are renting, and you decide now to pool up your money, your resources, and you buy a home together. So that's a pretty cool idea. Now you've just doubled your borrowing power, or you can do it with a sibling. You know, there's so many different options there. And just an extension of that, perhaps the most popular way first-time buyers are getting into the market is they're using, they're getting help from their mom and dad who are gifting them a down payment to help them buy a home. Now, there's obviously, that's always been the most popular way that first-time buyers kind of get into the market. Now, they're probably wondering, like, it's so expensive to get into the housing market, but on the flip side, mom and dad's house now has increased in value tremendously too. So they've almost built this equity from within. So, I mean, those are just some tips on how to get into the housing market and how to really get into, your first home may not be your dream home, but it's certainly a stepping stone towards that. So anyways, we're gonna have more tips coming up like this. If you've ever got any questions, hit me up on Facebook, just send me a private message or shoot me an email, Tony@tonyjohall.com. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care. Bye.